Y'all, we have a wreck. We literally get rear-ended in our Uber. Hey friends, it's your girl, it's Jerika Stewart, and welcome to my channel. If you haven't already, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. So I'm just gonna get right into it. I just came from the most amazing trip in France. I spent some time in Cannes, Nice, and Paris. And when I tell you it was something that was unexpected, because France has never really been on like my wish list of places to go. Paris definitely was not, because I just felt like everybody goes to Paris. And so I was like, I don't know if I need to go there. But you know what? I'm just going to take a moment and I'm going to give Paris, I'm going to give it its props, because it gave everything that it needed to give, and it gave a little bit more. So I'm going to get right into it, because what we're really here for, we're going to talk about Paris, but like also your girl did some shopping. Your girl did some shopping, and we just gonna talk about Paris, but we're also gonna we're gonna do this luxury haul, and we're gonna talk about all the things Paris. So let's just get right into it. Okay, so like I said, Paris was such like an amazing experience, and Nice and Cannes were such amazing experiences. Now, if you've never been to any of these places, I'll try to describe them very briefly. Think of Nice and Cannes as kind of like the beachy resort places. If you've ever heard of the Cannes Film Festival, like that's where that's held. And so it's one of those places where when it's warm, there's a lot of people there, but when it's a little bit cooler, you know, it kind of shuts down. And so because it was still kind of like their winter months, there wasn't a whole lot going on, but they're just such beautiful places that like you didn't really need anything to be going on. They're very small places, so you can walk around and just kind of explore. And it started feeling really familiar after a few days. Like we had our little shops that we would go to. We had like our little restaurants and bars that we were familiar with. And so I just really enjoyed that part of the trip. We got to see, the weather was great. The weather was absolutely amazing. Like we were thinking it was going to be a little bit cooler, but it actually ended up being perfect weather, like 60s, 70 degrees. Okay, so your girl brought the looks. If you follow me on Instagram and TikTok, you've seen some of my outfits. Like your girl was here to give what she needed to give. Okay, y'all know if I was going to France that I was going to give the looks. So definitely had a great time with that. So yes, that part of the trip was amazing. But this video is really about Paris, because it just got a special place in my heart. And I just was so like overwhelmed with like surprise that how much I love this place. So, and I gotta go back. Like I seriously have to go back. So I'm just gonna get into all the things. First, we're gonna start with the hotel. So I stayed at the So Paris Hotel with my husband. I actually found this on TikTok. I was just like Googling places to stay in Paris, or like TikToking places to stay in Paris. And this place came up. Some girl stayed there during a brand trip. And so when I saw it, I was like, this is amazing. And then I saw a couple other videos where people who had like American Express had amazing experiences there, because you get so many perks if you have an American Express Platinum card. And I was like, well, I have an American Express Platinum card, so let's see what they're gonna give me. And listen, if you have an American Express Platinum card, like make sure, this is just a side note, if you have an American Express travel card, make sure that you're taking advantage of all those perks, because you can get credits, you can get like free breakfast, you can get like free upgrades. So like it's a hefty like annual fee, but I promise you, I say this to everybody, like it really does pay for itself, especially if you're a person who travels. So listen, they took care of your girl. We got champagne up on arrival. I wanted to stay somewhere where I could see the Eiffel Tower, but I didn't want to be like all up on the Eiffel Tower, because I just felt like I would be like in the heart of like tourist areas. So we had like a beautiful view of the Eiffel Tower. We had a beautiful view of the river. Like it was just a perfect hotel and a perfect place. They were amazing. Everybody spoke English, which I'm gonna get into that, and then we're gonna open up our first thing. So listen, if you're gonna go to France, come here, come closer. If you're gonna go to France, let me tell you something. France, they stand 10 toes down on speaking French. And, you know, I was like, oh, I've traveled a lot of places and like where they speak different languages. And it's never really been an issue for me because, you know, most of the places, especially places that are frequently visited, the people learn English because they know most of their visitors are going to speak English. And so this is the first time I have traveled somewhere where people were adamant about like,
we don't support that action yet. Stay tuned.
That was my TV, sorry. Anyways, they were very adamant about like, French is the language that you speak in France, and that's the language that we're gonna speak. So I was like, okay, friends. And so prior to my time going there, I TikToked a bunch of like experiences on like, you know, what it's like visiting Paris and things I needed to know. And so everybody pretty much said that I needed to learn French. Some French, and I don't speak French. I know a couple of words, which I'll tell you. And so I was like, I'll just wing it. I'll figure it out. People are going to speak French, or people are going to speak English. Nah, baby. So my first piece of advice to you is if you're going to go to Paris or France, anywhere, learn some French. Learn some French because... And I've heard too that people sometimes, if you like assume that they can speak English, they'll be a little bit rude to you. And so everybody was like, at least learn how to ask them if they speak English, learn how to say that in French. So parlez-vous anglais was the thing that I said to everybody. It means, do you speak English? And I felt like people, I didn't really feel like anybody was annoyed, but it definitely kind of softened the blow about the fact that I didn't speak French. I did hear that people can be a little bit rude if you just kind of start talking to them. So I was like, I'm not trying to have that experience. And, you know, if you greet everybody, bonjour, you know, I feel like people were a little bit more welcoming to the idea of trying to speak English to you. But we did have a couple of comments from people where they were like, why don't you speak French? And we're like, because we're American. Not an excuse, but you know, it is what it is. So let's get into the luxury, because I know this is what y'all are here for too. So about this, so in France, there is a designer outlet, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with the designer outlets. There are some here in the United States. I only know of one that's in California that I've been to before. If you are a luxury like designer girl, and listen, okay, I know there's this big thing now where China is exposing, you know, that certain stuff that is the same price as the fake stuff and whatever. I don't know. I don't live in China. I don't have any relations with China. So if that's the case, then disregard everything that I'm talking about, because maybe I'm just overspending. It is what it is. But listen, if you have an opportunity to go to a designer outlet and you're a designer girl, like, this is going to make your day. And I'm going to go through everything that I got because I want you guys to see just how good of an experience it can be. The designer, the prices be given, baby. The prices were pricing, and I just love that for me because I knew that I wanted to buy a couple of things. I had some things that I, you know, kind of had in mind that I wanted to get. And so it was just a matter of like figuring out like what the heck I was gonna get, you know? So I went to the Gucci store and I got some things, and I'm gonna put like, cause I don't have that information with me right now, I'm gonna put how much the things actually like retail for and how much I got them for, just so you can kind of see. Now I will say that some places, I know like Prada, like they do really, if you're a Prada girl, like they do really good discounts. Like the stuff is already discounted, and then sometimes they'll have like little sales in there. So like they'll have like stickers on it, and if it has like a red sticker, it's like an additional 30% off or something like that. So that was kind of cool because I was able, you know, if you're a Prada girl, like I said, or any of those type of places, like Bottega, like places like that, like they really do discount their stuff pretty well. So let me get into the first thing that I got. So we'll start small. I got this wallet, so you guys can see him. And I was not going to get a wallet because I don't really need a wallet. I have like a small little like card holder that I use, but this actually matches perfect with my everyday purse that I have. I think it was actually made to go into that purse because the material is exactly the same. This little like G thing right here is exactly like the buckle. I might post a picture of the my purse because you can see like this was literally made for my purse. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, well, gotta get this. And let me see if I have the price tag in here. They might. I might have taken it out. I don't even know where the receipt is, show. But anyways, I'll put the prices on here, but like, again, I saw it and I was like, oh, this goes perfectly with my purse. One of my friends has this thing where like she has to have the matching wallet to go with the bag. And I've never really subscribed to that just because that's an expense that I'm not trying to add to my life because I ain't got it like that. But I always have thought it's a great idea. And so this is my first time that I have a wallet that actually matches my purse. So get me. Yeah, so that's the first thing that I got. And then the second thing that I got from the Gucci store, yes, I got multiple things, mind your business, was this clutch. I am so obsessed with this clutch because, first of all, I do not have a Gucci clutch. And I had to think. I do technically have a Gucci clutch. I have a clutch that's from the Balenciaga and Gucci like collab that they did. So I got a 50% Gucci clutch. So I don't have 100% Gucci clutch. And I thought that this one would be great for the summertime because, you know, it's a light color, it's neutral. Like I literally can see myself wearing this all the time. I love the color tone. I love the lettering on it. It's different than like the typical Gucci lettering. This might have the price. It does not have the price. This woman must have took all the price tags off. My goodness. Maybe she didn't want me to know how much it costs. I bet she did that. I bet she took the price tags off so I wouldn't know how much it costs. Anyway, I gotta figure out how much these price. I'm gonna have to look them up online and see how much they retail since she might have taken the prices off so that I wouldn't see them. Oh well. And then you can't like record in there too. So I feel like all of that's intentional. Anyway, so the other thing about Paris that I really, really enjoyed is that the food was not that bad. It was not that bad. So again, when I was looking up places to go and like things to do in Paris, we were looking up food places because, you know, obviously a girl's got to eat. And this girl, I have to see if I can find her name on TikTok because I found her on TikTok. I have to see if I can find her name. She recommended this soul food place. And I was like, I don't know if I trust soul food in Paris. But let me tell y'all, it was so good. It was so freaking good. The place was called Gumbo Yaya. And I'll post all the places that I went to, all the black owned places that I went to. First of all, I didn't even, this is me just being naive or, you know, not cultured enough. I didn't realize that there was such a prominent black community in Paris. And then, you know, obviously they come from other parts of the world, but like, I wasn't expecting it to be as diverse, and maybe that's not even the right term, but I just really felt like I felt it was going to be just a bunch of like white people or, you know, like white French people, and that just wasn't the case. Like I saw people from all different types of backgrounds, which was very shocking to me, and it was just something I just wasn't expecting. So to then see that there were like black owned places, like I just thought that was really cool. And like the food was so good. So Gumbo Yaya is a fried chicken spot. Baby, that chicken was so good. It was so moment of silence. Moment of silence. The fried chicken was so good. And so we got a lot of stuff. We got fried chicken, we got mac and cheese. And let me tell you something, I don't really believe in people seasoning their mac and cheese like their fried chicken. Like you don't need all those seasonings. They didn't go overboard, and it was thoughtful. So it wasn't just typical salt and pepper. It did have a little extra something in it, but it was so good. And then the yams, like, I feel like you can't really mess up yams, but sometimes yams aren't great, and their yams were great. And listen, I think I make a good yam, but their yams might have been better than mine. They were good. They were really, really good. And we got cornbread. It was like that sweet Jiffy cornbread. So if you like that type of stuff, then you would have loved it. I can go either way. I don't really care. What else did we get? We got fries, which getting French fries in Paris, you might think would be easy, but my golly, it was not. Anyway, so yeah, so we went to that place. We went to a African place that was pretty good. I got some oxtails that were pretty good. I would rank them probably, again, I think I make a great oxtail, so there's that. I would rate them probably a 7. They weren't as tender, and I feel like oxtails, like, you gotta cook those, you gotta braise those babies, you gotta cook them down. They need to be like falling off the bone, and mine were not falling off the bone. They also didn't like come in any type of like their juices or anything like that, and so the flavor was great. I got jollof rice, which was great, and I think I got plantains, which are good. I think the place was like a Senegalese place, and my husband got like some braised beef. He said it was really good. So it was good. It was great. I would definitely go. The drinks were good, so it's a nice little vibe. And then the other place that we went to was called Mama Jackson's. Mama Jackson's is probably one of the more popular places if you look up like black owned places in Paris. The food was really good. I got fried chicken, and then I got mac and cheese again, and I got some other side, I can't remember. Oh, I got these red beans and rice, which was really good. They had like this like vinegary taste to them, which I was not expecting, but it was pleasantly, surprisingly well. I don't know if any of those words make sense, but it was really good. So I got those, and yeah, like legit, I thought the food was good. The fried chicken was great. So there were mixed reviews when I was looking up that place. So I don't know if they took the feedback and made it better, but like, you know, whatever, the food was good. So if you're looking for some black owned places there, those are great places. I'll post all the places that we went to the extent that I remember the name of them. Cause some places we just like literally stopped in and grabbed food. Like we weren't really trying to like eat good, if that makes sense. All right. So this is my favorite purchase from Gucci. I got this bag. And I'll say this, when I went into, why is my line sister FaceTiming me? I'll call her back. So when I went to Gucci, I did not really have any expectations on what I wanted to get. I was just like, I'm just gonna look around and, you know, see what I can see. And I saw this bag and I was like, yeah, I gotta have this one because she's super cute. And I like this little style of bag. I don't have one like that. I know these are very, very popular. Louis Vuitton has one that it's a really small one that I'm pretty much obsessed with. And I could probably get 3 of these bags for the price of that one. So I decided to go with this one. I know people can be partial about the monogram letters. I like them, and I think when they're done in a way like this, it is not like gaudy. I think this is a perfect size purse, and I am the queen of buying ridiculous size purses. More to come on that later. But I thought this was a good size purse because you can also do it as a crossbody. It's long enough to do as a crossbody. So I think it's just gonna be perfect. I think it's gonna be a good summer bag. And I'm really excited to wear this bag. So yeah, I think I got some good purchases. Again, now that I'm looking at everything, I don't know if I have the actual prices of everything because I think she took the tags off. But to the extent I can find the prices on these, let me see if it's on here anywhere. I think she took all the tags, which that's annoying. Why would you do that? She don't want me to be great in my YouTube videos. Hopefully I can find them. I think this one was like $1,500 and I think I paid like 1,100, I think, or like 1,050 or something like that. Anyway, great price. Great price. Beautiful gowns. All right, so those are all of the Gucci purchases. My husband also got a wallet while he was there, which if anybody knows my husband, he is not like a flashy dude. He don't really care about designer stuff. He don't really care about certain designer stuff. And he can be very cheap when it comes to things like that. So the fact that the prices were good enough for him to get a Gucci wallet, like that tells you like, okay. Like I think the wallets were kind of like almost like 50% off or something like that. So yeah, if you have an opportunity to go to the outlets, definitely go to the outlets, because like I said, you can just discover something that you may not have even like, it's a great introduction to buying designer. Because you're not paying like the hefty prices that you would if you're in a retail store. And also if you're not one of those people who has to have like the latest and greatest. Like I think that Gucci clutch that I have, that one I think came out like a few years ago. So, I mean, I'm not that person. I don't care, because I'm going to have that purse for a while. So it didn't matter to me when it came out. The fact is that I have it now and it's mine. So the other thing that I would say about visiting Paris, that I was kind of like going back and forth on doing, like we were trying to figure out how many touristy things to do versus how many like just exploring, like, pretending like we actually live there and just want to see the world type of things we were going to do. I think we did a great balance. So the first day that we got there, we got there around like so we got there around like 3:34. We get in our Uber, y'all. We have a wreck. We literally get rear-ended in our Uber. And we were like, oh my God, what is going on? We're like, okay, they're gonna call the police and they're gonna handle this. No, that's not how they handle it there, y'all. That is not how they handle it. These people were literally taking care of it by themselves. They were pulling out these paperwork and like filling out forms. And we're just sitting there like, like, okay. We were sitting out there like 30 minutes. And it got to the point where I was like looking at my husband like, do we need to call another Uber? Like, what's going on? So yeah, that was awkward, but we were thankfully okay. I did have this fear that my luggage was gonna go like flying down the highway because they rear-ended us. And y'all, it was so embarrassing. We pull up to this, like I said, we went to stayed at the So Paris. We pull up to this hotel, amazing, beautiful hotel. Of course, the people come out, concierge comes out. They're like trying to get our stuff. They're struggling to open the door, the back door. And we're like, ugh. And I'm like trying to tell them like, oh, we had a wreck. I guess it wasn't registering. So they're like opening it, they finally get it open. And then when they open it, like this little piece on the handle like hits the ground, and they're looking at us and I'm looking at them. I was like, we had a wreck, like we got rear-ended. They're like, oh my God, are y'all okay? And we're like, yeah, we're okay, but that's why the door is not working. It was so embarrassing. I was like, and it wasn't even my car, but it was just so embarrassing because I was like, oh my God, like, ugh, of course this happens to us. So yeah, anyway, where was I going with it? Oh yeah, so we finally get in our hotel probably around like 6 o'clock. And we decided that we wanted to do a late boat tour to see the Eiffel Tower. And so the Eiffel Tower, as many of you probably know, it lights up and then they do like a light show every hour up until like 1 a.m. So we were like, okay, let's get a let's do the tour so we can see the Eiffel Tower at night. So I think the last boat tour was at 10 o'clock. So, and it was like open so you can go whenever you want. You didn't have to go at a certain time. So we decided to go to the very last one, which actually was amazing because the last two before the last one, the boats were packed. Like it was so many people. And on ours, like it was like not a lot of people on there at all. Like we got to kind of like move around and like go from one side of the boat to the other side of the boat as we were passing different attractions. So that was actually kind of cool. And then we got to like sit outside, to kind of see the Eiffel Tower, like when it was lit up and when we were doing the light show. So that was amazing. If you have never seen the Eiffel Tower in person, like I was like, oh, it's the Eiffel Tower. I've seen it 1,000 times on TV, like blah, 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 blah. It's a core memory for sure. Like it's just, thinking about like where I come from and like reading about it and seeing it on TV, like it does not do it justice at all. It is probably top 10, one of the most beautiful things that I've ever seen. And it's just, like I said, it's a core memory that I have for the rest of my life, because it was beautiful. It's such a beautiful moment, such a surreal moment. Like, dang, I'm legit looking at the Eiffel Tower right now. Like, this is pretty cool. So that was fun. And then like we did a bread making class, so we got to learn about baguettes and just kind of the history of baguettes, which was really cool. We got to roll some croissants. We didn't get to make the croissants full because they told us that making croissants is like a 3-day process, because there's so many layers and you have to kind of like put it in the refrigerator, take it out of the refrigerator. So they showed us like how to roll them and stuff like that. So that was fun. What else did we do? We're shopping, of course. We went to the outlets. We went to the Louvre Museum. I think the Louvre Museum. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. We didn't go in to see the Mona Lisa. That's where the Mona Lisa is. At first, I was like, I have to go see the Mona Lisa. And I had like looked it up on like how it cannot just be like an overwhelming process. The answer is there's no real way to not make it an overwhelming process. I think everybody at all times wants to see the Mona Lisa. And it's always interesting to me, because I'm like, there's been so many people who come to Paris. There's so many people who live in Paris that still like want to see the Mona Lisa. And so they're like, people say that museum is the most amazing museum. We didn't go in, like I said. I do think when I go back that I will go to the museum, because people just brag about it. They're like, it is probably one of the best museums. Like, especially if you're into art, like it is an amazing experience. So I definitely will go back. And they were like, you can walk. First of all, the Mona Lisa painting, it's very small from what I've heard. Like, I don't know, like 8 by 10, like it's small. And so I think because we've always seen it, blasted in this big grand thing, I think a lot of times when people see it, they're like, is that it? And then it's like encased, and then it's like you're super far away from it. So people, they're like, once you see it, it's kind of like, okay. So all that to say, I didn't see it. Like I said, when I go back, I will go to the museum, and they were like, you can just like kind of peek your head in and like just see it, because like it's going to take you hours to actually get up close to it, which I don't need that experience in my life. I saw the Eiffel Tower. I don't need to see Mona Lisa. So we went to the museum. It was sun was setting, so we got some beautiful pictures there. And really, we just kind of like walked around. Like there are so many different pockets in Paris. Like we just kind of enjoyed our time there. Like we just truly wanted to like experience Paris. Like we just wanted to kind of experience, like we would take an Uber somewhere, and then we'd be like, oh, this is a whole nother area. Like we've never been over here before. And we would just walk. And then like we had to go somewhere else that was a little bit further. And so we would go over there, and like, we were like, oh, this is a whole new different area too. So it was a lot of that, which I personally enjoyed, because I really just felt like we got to experience a lot of what Paris had to offer. Which kind of leads me to transportation, and I'm gonna get into my next bag. So transportation, we Ubered everywhere. Now I will say that is an experience, and it's expensive. Some people say that like Ubering was a little bit difficult, and like you should take a taxi. We personally didn't have any issues with our Ubers. I mean, you just call it and it pops up. So for us, I would say that there was not any issues with it. But like I said, some people say that sometimes you can have some experiences, some negative experiences. This just wasn't our case. But also it is very expensive. Like the Ubers are probably equivalent to what you would pay here. So that can add up for like a 5-day trip. But because Paris is, from my perspective, a pretty big place, walking was easy. Like if you can kind of get lost and walk around, but like we knew we wanted to go somewhere right then and there, and it was a 30-minute walk. And I was like, committing to a 30-minute walk versus just kind of wandering 30 minutes, to me that's different. So we Ubered. A lot of people I think take the train. My husband took the train, and he was like, yeah, you wouldn't like this experience. And so once he said that, I was like, listen, I don't need to explore that. I don't need to experience that. I don't need to test you on that. If you say that I wouldn't like it, That's all I need to know. Yeah, I mean, he said it's a lot of people. It's a lot of smells. There's no warning when the door is closing. So like one girl, he said, got hit like by the door. And I was just like, yeah, that's not for me. Because I've taken trains and like when I go to New York, I can navigate the trains pretty good. But yeah, and then like being in a place where I don't speak the language, and then of course like pickpocketing is pretty common there. So I was just like, nah, child, we gonna Uber and walk. And if we can't get there either way, then what it is what it is. I did see people like biking, which that might have been something I would have probably wish I've done. And then we started seeing scooters. So I wish I would have saw that a little bit more, because that would have been a great option. I'm not afraid to scooters, so that would have been a good option for me too. But those are only travel options that we saw, so I don't know if there's any other way to travel. But anyways, so if anybody knows me, you know that I'm a Jacquemus girl. And when I first found out that I was going to France, I was like, I gotta go to the Jacquemus store. Let me fix my lighting, y'all. The sun is starting to set. There we go. So when I found out that I was going to Paris or France, there is the flagship Jacquemus store there, and I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be great, which it was great. And I was like, of course I gotta get a bag there. So I got a bag, and let me tell y'all the experience. So I got there and I was like, anytime I travel, I'm always asking the people like, oh, is there anything that you only sell here, especially when I travel to Europe. So I was like, oh, are there any bags that are only like exclusively sold here in Paris? And so they showed me this bag. I might put a picture right here if I can find one. I love this bag, y'all. But if you know anything about Jacquemus, one of the reasons that I really like Jacquemus is because it's kind of a budget friendly designer. And I say that knowing that everybody's budget is different, but like for me, it fits in my budget what I think I should be spending for designer at this point in life. I think the pricing is pretty fair. And so like this price was like this purse was like $2,500, which is insane for a Jacquemus bag. When I can get this I have this exact same bag actually. It's just not in this material. It was like this like plastic, but it was like wood, which is, I mean, it's plastic. It's like a hard plastic. It was such a beautiful bag, but it was like a novelty bag, and I just knew like I would love it and I would love to have it in my home, but I was like, I'm not gonna be able to wear this a lot, and it's just, I can buy like 3 bags for this price. So I made the mature adult decision to not get it, but I did get something better. In the grand scheme of things, as I sit in my home back in Dallas, Texas, Ghettoville, United States, I think that I made a great decision on the bag that I got. So this is, oh, she's so cute. Look at her! Isn't she cute, guys? Oh my goodness, she's so cute. She's so cute. And I was a little skeptical because I would have preferred for this to be gold hardware. But the more I think about it, I actually like the silver hardware because I feel like it kind of tones the bag down. Like I feel like if this were gold hardware, this would be a very like flashy bag. And so I think the silver kind of tones it down. Like I'm feeling it with the silver. And I'm really excited to wear it. Obviously, I can't wear this bag. I mean, I can wear it. It's my bag. I can wear it when I want to wear it. But I can't wear it probably as soon as I would like to. Because I think I would probably wear it more so in the winter. But she's so cute, y'all. Oh, she's so cute. She's so cute. I'm so excited about this bag. I think it's such a beautiful bag. The texture is amazing. I'm excited, y'all. Okay. Now this is my last foolish purchase. I told y'all I am the queen of a foolish bag. So I felt like after I had picked that bag, I felt like I was just, you know how you're at the checkout and you see all these like little random things around the checkout. This is what started happening. So I was like, oh, well, I didn't spend $2,500 like I said I was going to, or like I was literally about to do 10 minutes ago. So I got a little of my budget. So I found this little bag and I just thought she was so cute. And I was like, this is when you know you're a bad girl, or like you want some foolishness, really is what it is when it boils down to it. I just think this bag is so cute because I can see myself hanging out, like having a cute little brunch with the girls. And this, my friend said, you bring this bag when you know you're not paying. So you know what? When my man takes me out on a date, I'm gonna wear this bag because I need him to know that there is nothing in me today that is paying for this dinner. So that's what we're doing. So here's a bag. She's so cute, y'all. Is this not the cutest little thing? So it is technically like a wallet, I think. But oh, your girl is definitely wearing this as a purse. Like, and I was like, oh, this would be cute. I can put it like on my belt clip. But also like, I'm showing up somewhere with this bag. I'm showing up somewhere with this bag, and y'all gonna be like, girl, please, why do you have this bag? Like, you look foolish. And maybe I do, but listen, I'm wearing this bag somewhere. Every time I look at it, and I've like shown a couple of my friends, and they're like, this is so you. Like, of course you wear this bag. Of course you bought this bag. And I had it in black, and I was like, no, red is going to give me the statement that I need to make when I wear this bag. Like, people are going to be like, yeah, I get it. So this is my bag. Now, honorable mention, because I didn't get the exclusive Paris bag that I wanted. I did buy a little Jacquemus mug, which I think is downstairs, but I'll put a picture of it. And it has like Jacquemus Paris or something like on there. So I was like, well, I guess that's my exclusive thing from Paris that I can say I got. You can probably get it online, but don't tell me that if you can. So whatever. So those are all of my items that I got, y'all. Like, I think, you know, I have done a really good job. I knew, ever since I knew I was going on this trip, I was like, I'm not going to buy any like designer stuff. And, you know, all of my like extra money that I've been getting from my collabs, I've been saving it because I was like, I just want to be able to buy the things that I want to buy when I go there. So, and I was on a budget, y'all. I was on a budget. So it was an amazing experience. Paris was great. I could have not have gotten any of these things, and it still would have been an amazing experience. But the fact that I was able to get some pieces that I really like didn't even have in mind, but like really got some good items, like, to me, I'm just so excited. So if you have an opportunity to go to Paris and you have not been, I would say 1000% book the flights. For me, it was only like a 10-hour flight, straight shot, to Paris. Now to Nice, we had to travel through London. But I would say if you have an opportunity to go, like, just go. If you have an opportunity to learn French too. But yeah, like, go on the trip, guys, because, you know, it really just teaches you, and also like just the European way of life, like, it's so different from the United States. Like, they ain't worried about nothing, child. They chilling. They really are. And, you know, it's amazing to experience a new culture, just kind of being immersed in a new culture. Anytime I travel, I just really, and I think that's why me and my husband, like, we'll do the touristy things, but we also just kind of want to get a feel of how people live from day to day. And I just think that that's really important because it really opens up your mind to a different way of life, a different way of thought. So yeah, the trip was amazing, guys. I thank you guys so much for listening to me ramble about my trip. If you have any questions about the trip, if you have any, like, if you want to know anything about my experience, or I'll put some stuff that I'll put the stuff that I mentioned on the page or on the video. But, like, you know, if you have any other questions, let me know. And yeah, like, let me know which item you guys like the most. I want to hear it in the comments. And again, thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't already, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys later. Bye.
I said 5 in the morning, I wake up.